Hi everyone, Sailor Moon here, Serena here, and Sailor Pluto, Tessa here, Sailor Underworld here. And today we're going to talk about why we like the Deke and Cloverway Sailor Moon and what are the good things about it. Now, we all know there are folks out there who either hate or do not like the Deke and Cloverway Sailor Moon for sundryest grounds sake and why. You know, either they bitch or rant about, the show playing that was done, or names being shifted, stead names being shifted, strike names being shifted, some followings not being worked at all, some things being skimmed out, songs being shifted, a lot of things that they do not like about the Deke and Cloverway Sailor Moon. Mostly the Deke one. And they also bitch about how other things were handled. Now, at the end of the day, I had made sundryest films talking about why a lot of folks don't like the Deke Sailor Moon or why they don't like the Cloverway Sailor Moon. First off, I'm just going to tell you what we like about it. First off, it was the first Sailor Moon that anyone in North Vinland had saw, and the settled land in the 4-1 Reichs. Two, it opened the doors for drawing shows and drawing films from Dawnland that, free, Dwayne could think back watching it when he was growing up, when it was on UPN and WB and Fox and later on USA and Cartoon. Believe it or not, that is the good thing. Two, when some folks like Dwayne or anyone, when they first think of Sailor Moon, it's the Deke one they think of before they even think of the Toei or Viz one. Now, a lot of folks out there, like to go around and say that you're not a true Sailor Moon follower if you like the Deke or Cloverway Sailor Moon or both of them, but that's not true. Dwayne has been a Sailor Moon follower or a Moonie or whatever you want to call them for about 6 between years, starting in 2008 YL. Now, I know a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership had been followers of the show since between 95 YL or so. Now, as you know, that Sailor Moon was a good drawing show, a good drawing film, even if Deke had to do some skimmings to it, even if Cloverway had to do some skimmings to it, even if names had to be shifted, even if the Dawnish borrowed names had to be shifted out for Frenchist, Latinist, Spanish, Hibuist, Farsius, and Hellenish borrowed names that most folks speaking English would understand. Even if stead names had to be shifted or strike names had to be shifted, and even if some of the fighting had to be skimmed a little, even if the songs had to be shifted, even if that meant having folks from the settled land and the 4-1 Reichs do the speaking for them, because that was the kind of English that Sailor Moon was put into, 4-1 Reichs English and settled land English. I don't really think it was a big deal. At the end of the day, I liked it. And even if the unstraight had to be skimmed, like Zoisite had to become a woman, or, Mara Michelle, Sailor Neptune, Sailor Uranus, Sailor SeaWorld, and Sailor Skyworld had to become nearkin, and even if Fisheye had to become a woman, it wasn't a big deal. It could have been a lot worse. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of things about the show that if you took the time to watch it with an open mind, you might see something good with it. Now, do you have anything you want to say? Fuck. No, that's not what I wanted to say. Oh, yeah. The other thing I wanted to say too, Sailor Moon, is that a lot of folks out there like to say that the Deke Sailor Moon and Cloverway Sailor Moon is unwatchable. Well, that's not true, because we have watched it, or Dwayne has watched it sundriest times since 2008 YL. Alright? He even watched it back when it was on UPN and WB and Fox and USA and Cartoon. So no, it's still a watchable show. You know? And a lot of folks like to make a big deal about the Sailor Says, like, oh, why are they doing Sailor Says? This is dumb. Well, first off, Sailor Moon was being offshooted in a time where you had to have some learning shows, and Farsi or Folkworks had to put some learning time in. So if you did not run a learning show to follow this the FCC oversight at the time, you had to do something. That's why Jem and the G.I. Joes and the True Ghostbusters and why he's in Popeye and he's in Inspector Gadget, or well, he's in Sonic and he's in Mario to some ways, and Sailor Moon had to do it too. Hell, the Power Rangers and the Might Keepers had to do it too. And some of the things on Sailor Says, yeah, you could learn something from it. Well, anyway, that really seems to be all the things I really have to say about it. I mean, we mentioned all the good things of why Dwayne liked it, and we also mentioned why some folks out there do not like it. Shit. But you see, at the end of the day, Sailor Moon's Deke and Cloverway Sailor Moon is still good. To some of us, it is. It might not be good to everyone. Not everyone's going to like it, that's true. But at the end of the day, it's not as bad as some of these Sailor Moon followers like to make it out to be. So if you like this film, then follow us over here. I mean, and at the end of the day, if you like the Deke Sailor Moon and Cloverway Sailor Moon, great. If you do not like it, and you only like the Viz one, well, that's good for you too. But at the end of the day, we think that Deke and Cloverway Sailor Moon was good, or a lot of things good about it. If you overlooked all, and we didn't let all those flaws and mistakes and whatever get to us, and get irked or angered over it like some folks would. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film we made earlier this morning over here with Sailor Moon and Sailor Earth, which we all know is Ernest P. Worrell. I, Sailor Moon Serena. I, Sailor Pluto or Sailor Underworld Tissa. We hope you like this film. Goodbye. Farewell.